Have you ever wondered how hypergamy, the act of marrying up in social class, influences women's lives, especially when it's promoted by male narcissists? Let's unravel this narrative. Hypergamy, a term originating from Greek, signifies marrying above one's class. Narcissistic individuals, particularly men, often use this concept as a tool to manipulate and control women. They weave a story of glamour and prestige, of a life filled with luxury and ease. They sell the idea that marrying upwards is a ticket to a better life. But let's take a closer look. Consider Jane's story, a woman who fell into the trap of a narcissist's hypergamy narrative. She was lured by the promise of a brighter future, only to realize that it was a tool for control and manipulation, a trap that left her feeling powerless and isolated. And as we can see, the reality of hypergamy is far from the glamorous picture painted by narcissists. But does hypergamy indeed offer women the so-called benefits as it is often claimed? Let's take a closer look. Picture a woman who bought into the hypergamy narrative. She pursued a relationship with a man of higher social status, expecting a life of comfort and security. However, instead of promised happiness, she found herself in a world of illusion and transience. The material wealth came with a steep price: emotional disconnect, a loss of autonomy, and a feeling of being trapped in a gilded cage. In contrast to the popular belief, hypergamy doesn't guarantee an improved quality of life or emotional fulfillment. It often leads to an imbalance of power, with the woman becoming dependent on her partner, thereby compromising her independence and self-worth. The so-called benefits are fleeting, leaving behind a trail of unfulfilled dreams and shattered self-esteem. Clearly, the promise of hypergamy is more illusion than reality. So, what happens when women buy into these hypergamous ideals? Let's paint a picture. Imagine a woman named Sarah. Sarah was lured into the world of hypergamy, captivated by the promise of a better life. But what Sarah didn't anticipate was the psychological toll that this lifestyle would take. The constant pressure to maintain her status, the incessant fear of being replaced, the isolation from her friends and family, and the loss of her own identity. She was trapped in a gilded cage, her happiness sacrificed on the altar of materialism and false security. This is the dark side of hypergamy. It's not just about marrying up. It's about the potential risks and dangers, the emotional and psychological damage that can occur when someone buys into these ideals. It's about the manipulation and control that can be wielded by those who propagate these narratives. Hypergamy isn't the fairy tale it's often made out to be. Instead, it can be a dangerous trap. Armed with these truths, how can women navigate the deceptive landscape of hypergamy? That's our focus in this segment. The first step in countering this illusion is awareness. Recognize the falsehoods behind the hypergamy narrative. It's not a golden ticket to a life of abundance and fulfillment, as some may lead you to believe. It's a manipulative tactic, often employed by narcissistic individuals to control and exploit. Next, understand your worth. You are not a commodity to be traded up or down the social ladder. You're a unique individual with your own strengths and aspirations. Don't let the promise of material gain or social status determine your decisions or compromise your self-worth. Building on that, it's crucial to cultivate independence. Financial, emotional, and intellectual independence can be your shield against the allure of hypergamy. Equip yourself with the tools to stand on your own, whether that's through education, a fulfilling career, or a robust support network. It's also essential to foster critical thinking. Question the narratives you're presented with. Who benefits from the propagation of these ideas? What do they stand to gain? By asking these questions, you can see beyond the surface and discern the underlying motives. And lastly, don't be afraid to seek professional guidance. Therapists, counselors, and other mental health professionals can provide invaluable insights and strategies to navigate these complex issues. It's a journey, but it's one well worth taking. It's about reclaiming your autonomy, your choices, your life. It's about debunking the myth of hypergamy and creating your own narrative. To summarize, awareness, self-worth, independence, critical thinking, and professional guidance are the key ingredients to counteract the manipulative tactics of hypergamy. These are not just strategies, but lifelong skills that will empower you in many facets of life. Remember, knowledge is power, and with these insights, any woman can rise above the myth of hypergamy and navigate her own path.